Welcome to Web3 and Me, presented by FLOLiO. I am your host, Jeremy Weber, and I am joined, as always, by my man over in the Netherlands, Dan Bondelot. Dan, how are we doing today?
Doing good. I wish we had more volume on OpenSea, but other than that, uh, as per usual, lately I'm doing good. Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. Just got back in town, excited to get after it. I'm not in my parents' basement today, so that is great. As you mentioned, volume has been down. We saw Sunday was one of the slowest days from a dollars
Hmm.
standpoint in quite a while. I believe since like October. So, it's been about 6 months since we saw that slow of a day in the NFT market. We're talking before the show. The number of unique users, however, on OpenSea is up. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom. That being said, on today's show, we're going to break down 5 tips on how to not just survive a bear market, but actually come out of the other side stronger than you were before. This too shall pass. NFTs aren't dying. There's panic in the streets right now, but if you can remain calm and focus on improving your portfolio, improving your process, you're going to come out a better collector. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So Dan, tip number one for the people is going to be evaluate your portfolio. Take an honest look at what you've purchased, what you're currently holding, because while it's not great to buy high and sell low, it's also okay to let stuff go if you don't think it has long-term potential.
Hmm.
So, are you over invested in PFP projects, right? Do you have holdings that provide benefits outside of just the floor price going up or, the promise of an airdrop? That's one thing that I would definitely recommend looking at. Dan, when you look at your portfolio, do you try to find a mix of like, projects that are going to hold value long term and other ones that provide utility?
Yeah, I definitely am. Like it's funny considering we've been talking about bear markets and we've been preparing for bear markets as well. And my portfolio is mostly more like long term. And yeah, I feel very comfortable holding a portfolio where it's mostly long term oriented gaming stuff. Because in my opinion, I think that does well through a bear market, right? Because it'll provide value over the course of like time, right? So yeah, that's definitely stuff I'm looking at with my portfolio.
Yeah, and then we break that down even further into a project by project basis. One way that I'm analyzing it personally is I'm looking at each project. Why did I buy it?
Hmm.
You know, what was the reason I bought it initially? Would I still buy it today, even if the price has gone down? Like, do I still see, a positive long term outcome there? And then also a really important thing to do is look at how the team and community is
Hmm.
interacting and responding to the current situation, both on Twitter and in Discord. If people are panicking in Discord and all the talk is about the floor going down and the team behind the project is panicking about the floor going down, that's
Yeah.
probably not a good situation to be in. However, if people are remaining calm, the team is remaining calm, I would feel a lot more comfortable with that.
Yeah, this is something we've been stressing for almost every single episode. Also covering certain red flags for a team. If the team is talking about floor price and the team is there like, oh no, our floor price is going down, that's usually a very bad sign.
Yeah. And when it comes to evaluating your portfolio, got to get the plugin for FLOLiO here. Head over to FLOLiO.com, link your account, check out your portfolio holdings. You'll see the total ETH value so you can see, how much you have invested. We break it down by trait floor as well for many projects so you have a better understanding, because you don't want to evaluate everything on the floor cost of it.
Hmm.
So a lot of these projects that we have out there that people are invested in, we have trait floor valuations built into your portfolio. So head over to FLOLiO.com, link your account, and you'll be good to go. So tip number two, and this is very topical based on the last 24 hours, is don't chase your losses. Don't mint random crap in an attempt to make back what you've seen your portfolio go down in the last few days. That is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Okay. When we look at like sunk costs and not being willing to sell, there's also the idea of like not having to buy to try to chase those losses too. So I'm talking about the OK Bears and the not OK Bears. OK Bears is a Solana NFT project that has gotten quite popular in the last few weeks. Yesterday, a flipped derivative project, if you want to call it a derivative, called the Not OK Bears launched for zero point zero 0.01 ETH. It got a crazy amount of volume on OpenSea. It is the exact same art from the OK Bears, but just flipped. And now it was taken down from OpenSea, assuming because the OK Bears team messaged them and is going to DMCA it. So this is a reminder: don't get wrecked chasing crap that is you're just trying to get a quick score to make up for losses.
Yeah, so especially with stuff like this, things like the Kevin thing, certain memes that are popular in the at the moment, they often see like a meteoric rise. But also the Franks, I don't know if you still,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that was crazy. They went up and then they went hard down, right?
Hmm.
So projects like these, they go up, and the second they stop going up, they go down hard, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's like gambling on this stuff. So yeah, definitely like don't chase your losses, and be okay with selling for a loss sometimes as well.
Chasing these derivatives projects it's a mistake. Like we've seen it with the 0x apes. Those ran up to almost 1 ETH. Now they're at like zero point 0.1. With the not okay bears, they got up to like zero point 0.4 and now they're back down to zero point 0.1. So just be really careful with that. Don't panic. Like, stick to the process. So tip number 3 is this is also during a bear market a good opportunity to look at your buying and selling strategies, because that there is strategy behind that. If you don't view it that way, you should probably reevaluate it. But a few things I want to look at when I'm reassessing is, was any panic selling involved in my process? Did you see the floor not go up for a week or two and therefore you freaked out? A perfect example of that is the Degen tunes. So that's a project that's been around for about 3 months now. It was sitting steady between like a zero point 0.4 and a zero point 0.6 floor for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then in the last few days, it's been one of the few projects that has a big run up because the team has started to put out more information about what they're building. They've teased a few things, and now we've seen that value go up. So, if you looked at a project initially, you bought it because you liked the art, you liked what the team was saying, it's okay to give it some time. Like, quite honestly, one of the best things you could do potentially is just wait a few months before you even look at the floor again.
Hmm.
So, avoiding panic selling, you know, also not taking profit. So let's talk the inverse of that. Like, Dan, we've talked before, holding too long because of, hype and euphoria is a big mistake that people make.
Yeah, if I was better at that, I would have made so much more money. Because like whenever you see the floor go up, it's quite addicting, right? Because you see the price go up, and you're like, yeah, we got the fundamentals here, but it's always important to look at the project in a normal light, without like pink glasses on, and it really requires a lot of like evaluating day to day, and that's difficult.
Yeah, for sure. You have to be, the first step is being aware of this. We had an
Yeah.
episode a while back about different cognitive biases.
Hmm.
You can't be anchored to some of these things. So you have to be aware of what's going on up top when you're making these decisions so that you can improve on that in the future. So on the buying side, we also need to look at, some of the purchases that you've made. Did you FOMO into projects near a local peak? Right? Like, did you see people talking about it on Twitter and a lot of hype, and then you bought in because you didn't want to miss out? That right there is something that can definitely be improved on for the future. And it's very common, especially if you're pretty new to NFTs or just trading in general, that feeling of missing out. Like, you don't want to
Hmm.
give in to that. So, be aware of it. Don't beat yourself up about it, but just know in the future it's something to avoid doing.
Yeah, and just to add to that, understand that NFTs, when you look at like the broad scale, they go down more often, at least in a number of days, than they go up, right? So whenever you buy, don't get scared when the floor goes down a couple days. Whenever they go up, they tend to go up more than they go down on the days prior. So don't be scared off by a day to day price movement.
100%. Absolutely. So tip number 4 is goes hand in hand with looking for selling and buying, is find these opportunities, right? Like, there are great opportunities right now if you took some profits along the way,
Hmm.
which is something that Dan, you and I talk about on a regular basis. If you took profits along the way, there are opportunities right now to get in on some quality projects before the next bull run up.
Yeah, and if you even if you aren't into NFTs yet and you're looking to get into it, you can buy Ethereum for like what $2,000 right now compared to
Hmm.
$4,000 a few months back. And these projects that we consider quote unquote blue chip, there's a whole conversation to be had there, but they're essentially the same price in ETH, but in dollar cost they're almost half. They're cut in half. So it's a fire sale. If you're looking to get into some projects that have some a long term like sustain in the industry, it not like right now would be a good time to maybe put some of your money into Ethereum, look into some quality projects.
Yeah, not to say that ETH can't go down more, because it
Yeah,
totally could, but and you know that obviously, but it's, it's like you said, a good opportunity. They're across multiple different price ranges. Like, it doesn't need
yeah,
to just be expensive stuff, right? There are projects as low as like 0.15 ETH, gutter cats, and you know stuff like that. We have World of Women around like 4. We have their companion piece around like zero point 0.7. There's all sorts of projects that have a ton of potential, that have seen a big pullback and are primed for a recovery once things settle down, right? Like, there's just so much uncertainty right now, and markets like certainty. But
yeah.
if you can, have a long-term view of things and place some bets now, there's a good chance that they're going to pay off in the future. And quite honestly, you don't need to hit 100% of your NFT purchases, right?
Yeah.
Like, if 30 to 40% of your conviction plays pay off, you're going to be positive long term. So we're not trying to hit every one out of the park. Like, make contact. I'm going to keep using baseball analogies, Dan, but make contact with some of these. And if you're hitting 300, you're probably doing pretty good.
There you go.
So our final piece today has nothing to do with actually buying or selling. It's just trying to keep your head in the right place during a bear market, which is one of the toughest things to do, especially if you're on Twitter and Discord and you're seeing all the doom and gloom out there, which is zoom out and step away. Okay. Look at the market as a whole. Like we mentioned, more people are coming into the NFT market every single day. Prices are going to go up, they're going to go down, but long run, we're playing that long run game. Most people who are trying to flip and who are day trading NFTs are not making money long term. Let's just be very clear about that. It's one of the reasons that I don't try to do it, because I know I'm not going to beat that game. But if you can zoom out and step away, you're going to be in a better place to make better decisions.
Yeah, because the mental aspect of NFTs is so important, because you're dealing with money every single day, and a lot of people who are investing in NFTs or anything in general, if their investment goes to zero, that has significant impact on their life. So we're talking about life-changing money for a lot of people. So if that goes up or goes down, it has a certain effect to them, right? So whenever you see something go up, you got this huge dopamine rush. But then whenever it goes down, you're like, oh god, my money is going away, right? So like the tip suggests, zoom out, step away. Like if you have this life changing amount of money invested in a single project, for example, first of all, you should maybe reconsider.
Yep.
And second of all, think of your mental. So zoom out, step away, don't look at charts every single day, please.
Yeah, for the love of God. NFTs really display human psychology. We've talked about FOMO.
Yeah.
We've talked about, panic selling and things like that. If you can master the psychological side of NFT trading, you're going to be in a really good place. Like, a lot of people look at some of the same numbers as far as floor prices, things like that. But it's the people who can master that psychological element to it of, not being afraid to buy in when fear is high, and not being afraid to sell when greed is high. So keep that in mind. Use this time during a bear market to improve your buying and selling, maybe get even more involved in Web3 and NFTs beyond just trading them. Like, learn more about blockchain, learn a new skill set. Like, there's a lot you can do to stay involved, stay active, and come out stronger than before, so that you're better positioned for the next bull run, because there will be another one. I don't know if it's going to be in a week, a month, 3 months, but it'll happen again. We're not going away. So just keep these 5 tips in mind. Like we said, evaluate your portfolio. Don't mint random crap. Look at your buying and selling strategies, look for opportunities, and very importantly, zoom out and step away. So that will do it for today's show. If you found these tips beneficial, please hit that like button, subscribe to the show, share it with your fellow NFT collectors. We want to try to help as many people as possible. And most importantly, head to FLOLiO.com, set up your account to view your portfolio, use the browser extension that we have for free that provides a ton of great data when it comes to buying and selling NFTs on OpenSea. Other than that, Dan, any parting words for the people?
Nope. I'd say, please follow our tips and hang in there, because bear markets are rough, and if you follow our tips, then you should be able to manage, I'd say.
All right. For Dan, for the rest of the team at FLOLiO, thank you for joining us. We'll see you on Friday. I am Jeremy. Take care.
Bye bye.